Good blessings, Namaste. God is good, I must say. Um, this is going to be just one talk, and it's going to be covering OI, OI. I came to bury my two crosses and taking my cross with me, which is all of you. Um, so, good blessings, Namaste. God is good, I must say. God is good. Okay, what is the essence of true silence? What is it to be of spirit consciousness? Um, this is a universal realm of consciousness in a multiverse. That being said, in other words, my father will never interfere with your free will, right? But he will send you prophets and messiahs by the truckload or by in the millions, billions. Please realize your true nature. The only way to seek is within, inside. Easiest way to go inside is to close your eyes, and as soon as you close them, you're inside. It's the beginning practice. The half moon eyes, single point concentration, is somewhat difficult for me. So that difficulty, the way I could solve it is very simple. I just do what I call mirror mind meditation. And I just look at a mirror and eye to eye, without movement. That's one of my meditations. I have many. I like to pray. I like to conversate with inner and outer consciousness. When the outer enters you, then you realize you're not talking to yourself wholeheartedly. So you have to have that experience. If you don't have it, well, then you're like, well, this is kind of odd. But I speak through experience, it's not a point of view or a way of thought. It's actually something that I experienced. So when that happened, I realized that there's no inner outer, there's only consciousness. So we come from a divine mother. How many universes is how many years? We can't even see the end of our universe, so I don't know why we have to dwell on it so much. It's very simple. Everything that we are, it's been given onto us. None of us self-created ourselves. Self-created our home, our world. This planet has everything that we need, spiritually and physically. If we lose sight of what is true spirit, what is true God, well, there's plenty of verses referring to God that He would not give you a stone, a scorpion, or He wouldn't behead you. He wouldn't, she wouldn't, stick a million knives in your back as one of your gifts. We have, in other words, there's a system of nature here. And in that system of nature, we have plenty of water. We have, in other words, we have everything that we need to survive here for millions of years. So to have a nuclear threat or an atomic threat or a constant war, there's no peace in that whatsoever. So our God is a God of peace, and his issues, he can handle them wholeheartedly. I'm just a guest speaker, and just passing through like everybody else. I truly hope that we can see eye to eye in our, I would say, our humility. If we can be humble, you come to the realization that you don't need that much in order to be happy. This world of ours is supposedly, this is, if I read the Hopi script, this is the fourth realm. They talk about us being a world of material. They knew that we were going into this age back then, and that it was just going to be a phase. You know what I'm saying? We're going to burn out on our material wealth. Honestly, I hardly see any material wealth. I call this the Doom Squad, the demolition crew of being all aspects of God's consciousness. In his aspects, or in all aspects of consciousness, this arises, our home arises for us. We're here. We have the opportunity to realize that if you can be still, if you can sit in silence and really not use the thinking mind does not apply in silence. Okay. True silence is no thought. When you have no thought and things arise, are they of you? Or are they of something greater than you, which is total living spiritual consciousness? In that consciousness, we can see that truly there's no difference of color. There's no higher or lower. We all enter and exit the same way. Sometimes we want more than meets the eye, but truly no special powers, because consciousness has all the powers. The powers of creation, the powers of dissolvement. Not that it's a threat or anything like that. If we are anti-nature, what we are saying by being anti-nature is that we're anti-God, anti-God's consciousness, anti-spirit. It's one consciousness. You arise in that and fall away in that. You're not in control of when you're going to be born, when you're going to die. You don't even know if this planet's going to live that long, right? Supposedly, it can't handle 8 billion or 10 billion people. I wholeheartedly believe and know that it can. There's plenty of land here to cultivate. We have plenty of water. All we have to do is run the waters, and the waters will turn into pure water. Unless we run them through, a nuclear asylum or an insane asylum, then you don't know what you're going to get. It's very unfortunate that, sometimes you go and say we're one of my favorite holidays is, I'm not going to say it's not a bad thing or a good thing, is to dress up with my kids for Halloween. And seeing sometimes you would have to worry about it, right? Sometimes people give you an apple with, needles in it, or razors, or poison. So that apple, well, you wouldn't want to eat it, or you wouldn't want your kid to eat it. Okay, so if we go into the apples of our delight, we wouldn't want, every person out there, if they're sound of mind, I would think that they would not want chaos, misery, destruction, pain and suffering to be the way of supposedly normal day-to-day business in the celestial realm. Unfortunately, here in this, spiritual realm of consciousness, people did try to take it to each other for their own benefit. So for a few hundred years, you get one kingdom, and then you get another kingdom, another kingdom, another kingdom, another kingdom, another kingdom. But all those kingdoms have the same science to apply. They want to control the masses through brainwashing techniques, non-spiritual attributes, and ignorance. Ignorance, we can commit atrocities and think that they're in our best interest. If I was to take a walk through the lands, everybody tells me I can't go to Mexico, I can't go to China, I can't go to Russia, I can't go to, LA, I can't go here, I can't go there, dude, because, there's mean streets. Well, I guess there's mean streets everywhere, but I honestly believe that in the Buddhist term, if we call it big mind, universal consciousness, or multiverse consciousness is in control, total control. We call it Tathagata, and big awareness, little awareness. You know what I'm saying? When the little awareness merges with the big awareness, then there's only big awareness. You know what I'm saying? Or universal realm of spiritual consciousness. Here in this one, I'll say it, I'll be straight up. My father, he is the Transcendental Buddha, okay? And if you read about the Transcendental Buddha travels, the universe. So when he's not supposedly present, he's ever present, okay? All the Buddhist or Gnostic Christians, or on and on it goes. Any society that meditates has a strong foundation in humility and altruism. That society usually thrives. Not everybody. If you look back at the Dark Ages before they began, nobody knows what was there. Surely knows that they all knew the key phrases. They could all read the hieroglyphics. They could read the stars. And awareness had spread. The Buddha, if you want to call him God or Christ or whatever you want, he's. But eternal living consciousness is ever pervading all around us. So consciousness has a rising form, and form that can't be seen. But that form is all around us. It's, in the trees and the bees and the seas and, in the wheat and the grain, in the waters, the rivers, air. That consciousness is everywhere. Once we toy around with that, well then, we get way over our heads. We practice psychosomatics and expect us to be in peace. Well, if we have a nuclear bomb pointed at someone, they're going to want to have a nuclear bomb pointed at us. If someone was pointing a 45 at me or a 50 caliber, I'd want one too, right? Well, it just depends. Because if I was to use it, then I would be taking a swipe at my father, mother, universal consciousness. And if I take a swipe at that, how many opportunities do you think I would have? And I have a term, and I have seen this, I have seen hanger energy. It's, I guess you could talk a little bit about it in the Bible. It's like a different realm. This realm looks like, well, I'll just tell you, I saw a vision of me in this realm once because I asked my father something, and this is when I was doing, what we call, I call it coca leaves, but we call it cocaine, right? Coca leaves is a diet. It's a pure amphetamine. And it helps me to focus and concentrate and be productive and think and eat right, all this stuff, dude. But I wasn't eating right when I was on it. That's not the point. The point of consciousness is this. You have it inside you. So do I have the right to get inside your body? No. You know what I'm saying? Do I have the right to rape a chick or a dude? No. Do I have the right to, persuade him to work for me or, put a gun to his head and say that he's lesser or greater or could I kick him around, treat him like a mule? I wouldn't want to treat a mule like that, right? Because it's living consciousness. So it's like this. We had investments, right, of insanity in the madness of the air today. We take swipes at consciousness. We kill ecosystems. We have no regard for life, supposedly for our own safety. Who's offering this kind of safety to us? I would have to question it. It's like, really? At any moment, if anybody gets, I would say, a real demonic possession, is possessed by a sick mind, and is empowered, well, what do you think that sick mind is going to do to all its supposedly these people are, we can do whatever we want with them. And that's not the case. And to impose your will on someone else and not be in line with God's sacred 10, which are moral ethics, or I call them spiritual ethics, because everything to me is spiritual. I don't see the difference in consciousness, even if it's material arising form. The rocks have consciousness, the mountains have consciousness, the trees, the waters, they have consciousness. Supposedly, we're the only ones that can think. Well, there's a lot of other beings that can think as well. seen and unseen, that can breathe and not breathe, and still be fully aware. I've had visions of my Father and inside and outside of me. I'm very grateful to my mother, my spiritual mother, because having those experiences have really, it may seem that I'm not doing anything. Supposedly I'm a bum out in the streets, somebody that doesn't want to participate in the workforce or be of this society. It's not that I don't want to be of this society. I just think that this, and I don't like to use the word society, these spiritual beings, I think that if truly fully entrained in meditation, and some of us call it Zen, I call it Nez. It's a way of being. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I've had a lot of failures here as I would just say as a parent. I couldn't hold it together. I'm not going to point the finger at all of society. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't know right from wrong, you know what I'm saying? But what we could spot as wrong, we could see easily, you know what I'm saying? We ask the question, is the blind leading the blind, right? Without a doubt, no doubt about it. If the blind can lead you into killing, into stealing, into maiming, into raping and looking the other way, and raping and pillaging the lands, and going on a suicidal pact in madness, well, then that society is not really, how can I say, it needs work. It needs to look at itself pretty dearly. You know, and in consciousness, all thoughts and concepts of God, of being, philosophy, we have atheists, we have scientists, we have chemists, we have engineers, we have all sorts of professions of thought. But what is it when you don't have your body or your brain capacity or your eyes or your ears or your nose, or in other words, when your body's not functioning? Who is it that embodies that body? Yes, consciousness. We want our free will. We don't want to be slaves to God. It's like, I'm not gonna worship God unless He does this for me, does that for me, this, that. And really, it's like, if it wasn't for God, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be a rising form. You wouldn't have your eyes. You wouldn't have your nose. You wouldn't have your ears. You wouldn't have your mouth. You wouldn't be you. Now, if you can do all that, then, hats off to you. But I know for a fact that none of you are at that level, not even me. I'm just a meditator, somebody that practices. I have many different forms of meditation, but my favorite one, of course, is, I'm going to call it prayer manifestations, all right? When I pray for something that I know that I sure as fuck can't do, and it shows up, then I know that for sure it wasn't me. It was the consciousness that had entered me that was unfolding just before my eyes. I don't know if you know what acting Buddha is, or sleeping Buddha, or Buddha. A Buddha is someone that's awake. A sleeping Buddha is somebody that hasn't awakened. It's like the blind, in Christianity. They haven't gotten their eyes yet. So they can talk about all the spiritual concepts of altruism or what is it called, Father? They can, have a philosophy on thought. Well, that philosophy is just a philosophy till it becomes something living in them, right? I know that there could be people that are really super nice and friendly and all this stuff, dude. But if pushed to a certain corner or swept under a rug or mistreated constantly, what is going to be the outcome to that situation? Well, in other words, say that someone says, "Oh, you're an idiot. You never gonna amount to shit. You're a loser. This is all you hear. You're a loser. You're a piece of shit. Stupid as fuck." Blah 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 blah. That little flower, that 3-year-old, that 1-year-old, that 5-year-old. Who's like, you know what? Well, I guess I'm stupid then. I guess I'm ignorant. I guess I can't do nothing. I'm ugly. I'm this. I'm that, dude. So who gave them that psychology? Who gave them those thoughts? And are those thoughts worthy? Worthy of what? Transferring on to supposedly the beings that you love the most? I know that we're under stressful conditions. I'm not going to say that we're not. But this heaven, dude, was ransacked, taken for a ride with thievery, murder, rape, killing, pillaging, no regard for life, just for their kicks and for their shits and kicks. You're like, if you say, well, why are you upset with the Pope? I'm not upset with the Pope. I'm upset with the history of its papacy. Its history of murder. Its history and investments in, what do you call it, Father? Prop up governments. If you murder a river, an ecosystem, well, that affects all the motherfuckers, not only them people, right? Maybe them chinks or them blinks or, those blacks or those whites or those, this is consciousness, bro. It affects the gorillas, it affects the lions, it affects the birds, it affects the eagles, it affects the ducks. So don't tell me that you have my best interest or that you are of a spirit, essence in Christ. Even if you preach Christ all fucking day long, dude. By your fruits you will be known, by your actions. Fruit is an action. If I could think about all day, I could fantasize of, murder. I would want to murder this guy, that guy. I could sit there and think about it all day. If it's just in my head and I don't, express it, I don't, in other words, I don't pick up a weapon, I don't pick up a tank, a bazooka, a grenade, a killing knife, a sword, an axe, I could still dress up in the whole armory, but the moment that I fucking slice somebody's head off, or rape someone, or steal a child, kidnap someone, then I'm committing harm. And since we're just small mind versus universal consciousness, our mind is it can be ridiculed by our father, mother, our spirit essence in a heartbeat. It can make you all see the light, right? What is the light? The light of consciousness, right? What is consciousness? Well, what is it? What have you seen consciousness produce? What is conscious? Consciousness is amazing. You look at the universities. Not only this planet, billions and trillions of suns, stars, moons, all sorts of jewels spread out through the entire universe. You guys talk about material wealth, precious metals, beautiful rocks, celestial art. But what is it to cause harm? If you lie to someone, and in other words, say that I am going to be real secretive, right? And I start a cult, and this cult, I'm like, the heck with. It's much easier if we just fucking, like, you see those guys where there's 50 of them, if 100 or 200 of us go over there, dude. We can take all their gold, dude. We can take their homes. We can take their wives, dude. And all we have to do is fucking cut their fucking heads off, dude. We have the team to do it, bro. If I was that type of coach, I'd be coaching very shortly, dude. So if we have no regards towards living consciousness, living consciousness will forget about us. I talked about what is to deny our God. To deny our God is to say that we are gods, and we are gods. We're created in His image. But are we godliness, or are we evil wickedness? That's the question. I mean, which way are you floating your boat? Now the laws on this land, I cannot take, George Clooney's laws, Brad Pitt's laws. I can't take fucking Jesse James' laws. I can't take Billy the Kid's laws. I can't take fucking, Bruno Mars laws. I can't take Harvard's laws. I can't take fucking Texas laws. You know what? Those are not of a spiritual essence to me. I can't listen to them. Now, if I'm being spiritual and I'm not causing any harm, maybe I'm supposedly causing harm to myself. Supposedly. What is self? No self? In spiritual consciousness, that's what it is. No self. So if I'm doing something if I'm doing something to me, and in consciousness, I've been here once, twice, 3 times, 4, how many times, I don't even know. In consciousness, that's very plausible. Hearing a voice in the wind, very plausible, dude. Now, to say that somebody's crazy, dude, and just because I put on a fucking white suit that says MD, PhD, fucking MC square, fucking suck my dick, nuts, balls, I'm not going to give you this, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to actually, I'm insured with these guys, dude. All I can sell is this kind of dope. I'm running with this cartel. I can't sell that other dope, dude. What is it that I need? I need freedom. I need, I see the lands. I see nature. I see my father, mother's universal being. And in that being, I know that if I was to, take a piece of property, build a temple, it shouldn't be an issue. But with all these private property signs and all this stuff, you were prohibited to eat from the tree of wisdom. Do you have wisdom? What is the apple of your delight? Is it you, or is that which gives you you? What are the jewels of, I could say Christ, I could say Buddha, I could say Krishna, I could say Shiva, I could say Mahavira, I could say Osho, I go down the whole list, bro. We'll be here fucking how many years, dude? That consciousness and those consciousness, they say that they all have to refer to the Buddha or to Christ. Usually those are, Krishna Christ or, Krista Cristo. Who is Christ? Who is Christ's mind? Who is Krishna consciousness? Who is Buddhic mind? Who is Allah's, mind? Who's Yahweh's mind? Same mind. Same consciousness, right? His commandments, I'm sure, are in the Quran, dude, and I haven't even read the Quran. Same ones that we have. Moses and my Muslim brothers, whatever, they had the same shit, right? The same prophets almost. So where is it that they get the right to kill someone, to maim someone, to shame someone, to belittle someone, and then to educate them under your specs and your guidance? Are you of Christ? Are you a Buddha? Are you of Krishna consciousness? Do you have Allah in your heart? Do you have Yahweh in your heart? Well, if you do, then we can't be all these, psychosymatics. We can't practice our way and be in His way. Like I told one of my friends, we want to cause harm, but not be in harm's way. Well, we bring it upon ourselves then, I go kill someone, maybe I hurt their sister, their cousin, their friend, and then they saw me do it, dude. Well, guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to think that it's an eye for an eye, that it's just. But who gave you the eye? Who gave you the nose? Who gave you the ear? Who gave you consciousness? Who gave you life? And that's madness. But if it's madness based on the programming that's given today, if it's the madness of thought that has been conditioned into your brain, like I was saying, it takes 21 days to break a habit or to create a new frozen pattern of thought. All right? Well, these guys go fucking extreme, dude. They go 12 years, for just, a high school fucking degree or diploma, whatever the fuck you want to call it, GED, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then another 4 years to become a professional, right? Or 6 or 8, so you can make a decent living. Blessings, Father, I guess it's over.